Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and I'm here today. And I was sitting here and I was thinking about some of the stuff I was seeing kind of in the media and the news. And one of the things I just thought I got to get kind of a kick out of this story when I saw it. I saw this story about Kendrick Lamar, the rapper, that was really interesting. Before I actually talk about it, though, I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay and see me and all that good stuff. So if you can hear me and you can see me, let me know that you can hear me and you can see me. Anyway, let me see. Okay, I see some friends on Instagram and a few homies on YouTube and some other places. But anyway, so here's what I was noticing in the news. It was actually kind of funny. I don't think we have to make more of it than than we actually should. I don't think that it is that big of a deal. But I don't know if anybody saw this thing with Kendrick Lamar and the rapper Kendrick Lamar. He bought his sister. He was trying to be a good older brother, and he bought his baby sister a Toyota Camry for her graduation, right? Just congratulations, sis, way to go, very proud of you, et cetera, et cetera. He's a good brother. He sounds like a good brother. I don't know Kendrick personally. I never met him, but I know a lot of rappers. And when you go on the Breakfast Club and stuff like that, you see a lot of artists that come through, and they're human just like the rest of us. Some of them have actually tried to become subhuman, which really bothers me when, because some have been made into clowns by white media. I think white racist media turns black men into cartoon characters. But Kendrick is one of those guys who hasn't been caught up in that. Kendrick actually is a very, very bright person. And he's a true artist. He's a true lyricist. He's a throwback. In the sense that you could see him just sitting there, coming up with these creative metaphors, and he's really a lot of fun to listen to. Well, anyway, let me tell you. So Kendrick bought a car for his sister, right? He got her a 2017 Toyota Camry, and which I think is a great gift. From a brother to a sister. I didn't buy my sister a Camry, and a lot of people were very happy about it. A lot of people thought it was really cool. They really applauded it. But then there's always those Negro naysayers, the Negro naysayers. I talk about them all the time. They're the people who find a problem for every solution, or the people that just bring out the worst in black people. Because as you know, black people are very diverse. Sometimes we're at our best, sometimes we're not quite at our best, and so a couple of the Negro naysayers, like there's some guy on Twitter. His name was the Educated Trapper. And he said something like, this is interesting. He said, Kendrick Lamar bought his sister a Camry for graduation. He trash. Basically saying Kendrick's trash because he bought, his sister a Camry for graduation. I guess the guy was expecting him to buy a Lamborghini or a Porsche or, a Bentley. I don't know what he thought, Kendrick should have bought for his sister. But this dude, the Educated Trapper, pretty much feels like Kendrick's trash. Now, here's what's interesting, though. His tweet got 13,000 retweets and 17,000 likes. 17,000 likes. So he ain't by himself. He's not the only person out here who thinks this way. He's not the only person who thinks Kendrick's cheap and stupid because he bought his sister a Camry instead of a Bentley or a Lamborghini or a Porsche. I'm going to pretty much be as honest as I can be when I really tell you that is one of the most powerful examples of extremist nigger thinking I've ever seen in my life. That is one of the clearest examples of exactly why you have a lot of black people who are just going backwards when it comes to money and when it comes to building wealth. You have a lot of black people who really think that if you get your hands on a couple of dollars, the first thing you're supposed to do with that money is hand it right back over to white people buying some stupid shit that you don't actually need in order to get by on a daily basis. And I don't mean to cuss, but y'all know sometimes stuff like that just brings out the profanity in me. I can't help it because that's some ridiculous shit. That's absolutely insane. And I would tell you like this, I I don't know this guy. I don't know this educated trapper dude. You know, I'm not even talking about him no more. He's irrelevant. He represents the past for black people. He does not represent the future. But there's something to be said about a culture which was driven by the hip hop music industry that perpetuates incredibly self-destructive, economically genocidal thinking amongst black people. There is a way of thinking that is mass promoted in media, and these record labels ain't really owned by black people. Most of them are run by whites and Jews and stuff like that. People that would never allow their children to be infected with some of these social and psychological diseases that they're infecting our kids with. You know, but these music industry executives, they push this message that says, if you get some money, throw it up. You know, make it rain, right? You ever see people do this, right? What does that mean? That means I'm a dumbass, right? I'm telling everybody how stupid I am because I'm showing my wealth by flopping my money around like a fucking fool, right? And that's literally some of the most retarded shit that a person could ever do in their life. You're talking about a community. Now this is one of the big debates I've been caught up in for weeks, and I'm done with that debate, but it never ends. There's always this debate over whether or not black people have any money. There's always this debate over whether or not black people can build wealth. There's always this debate over whether black people are poor or they're not so poor. I don't know if black people are rich or poor because everything's relative. I could have $10 million in the bank, but if you compare me to Warren Buffett, I'm poor. Or I could have $1,000 in the bank, but if you compare me to somebody in Ethiopia, a poor person in Ethiopia, then I'm extremely wealthy, right? So everything is relative when you talk about who's poor and who's not. But here's the interesting thing. If you believe that black people are broke and struggling and poor, which I do not believe, black people actually have quite a bit of money. I'm going to explain to you exactly why that's true in 1 second. But if you happen to believe that, then why in the world would you sit by quietly and idly and promote a culture that encourages you to throw away the little bit of money you got? Why would you even in any way tolerate the mass promotion of a culture that says, if you get some money, then nigga, throw it away. Give it all away. And it's promoted everywhere in the music. One example, that song, I think I might give away $1 million. I think I might give away a brand new truck because I feel good, right? All drinks on me, right? So basically what you're saying, here's what this music is saying. Every song has a message to it. And your subconscious mind, if you know psychology, you know how the subconscious works. The subconscious is the most powerful part of your brain. The subconscious mind's like, okay, writing this down, taking notes. Okay, this is how a thug nigga behaves. When I get money, I'm supposed to spend it. When I get money, I'm supposed to give it away. When I feel good, I'm supposed to throw my money up in the air. That's what your subconscious is, taking notes. Just like with a child, if you tell a child every day that they're ugly, then their subconscious is going to lock on to this false reality, no matter how beautiful that child happens to be. So this music, which seeps right into your subconscious, because music opens your brain up for suggestion. This music is telling you that one of the ways to show that you're doing good money-wise is to give money away. Throw it up in the air. Waste it. Do stupid stuff with it. You will see far more black men, and I'm talking about you black men right now, because y'all are in a war. You don't know you're in a war because you're so conquered that you're so conquered. Some of you are so conquered and numb and brain dead that you don't even realize that you're being exploited. You're like the unconscious rape victim. You don't even know you're being economically raped. You don't know you're being spiritually and educationally raped. You don't even know it because you're so numb. You really think that these people that are raping you economically are your friends. They are not your friends. So what you will see in many cases is you will be more likely to see a black man in entertainment brag about how much money he gave away than you are to see a black man brag about how much money he saved. The brother who goes out and splurges and throws it up and wastes money is going to get a lot more female attention in many cases than the guy who says, I'm trying to prepare and invest for my future. And so what's happened is that you've created a kind of swag that pretty much says that, that you get credit for destroying yourself, that the more self-destructive you are economically, the more people appreciate you, the more people like you, the more people look up to you. And this is really so interesting to me, because you will see a lot of guys, and I know many of them, who, when they get a couple dollars in their pocket, will be quick to blow it, throw the money away, throw it up, and then years later, when they hit on hard times, or when they can't get a job, or when they're struggling economically, they're the first one to cry broke. They're the first ones to whine like a little baby because the white man ain't giving them no opportunities, and well, you had it easy because everybody gave you everything. And I'm sitting there thinking, but man, when you had $5,000 on your tax refund, you went straight to the club. Like, you went straight to the mall after you went to the club, and you got more pairs of Jordans than 50 people have combined in their closet. So what are you talking to me about, this oppression? It sounds to me like you were a willing participant in your own economic oppression. It was a partnership. The white man said, I'm gonna take this nigga's money, and the nigga said, I'm gonna give the white man everything I got. That's how you became a willing participant in your own oppression, in your own self-destruction. That's why your children are talking about, Daddy, I need some food. And you can't be enough of a man to get your child what they need, because when you had an opportunity to get a little bit of money, you threw it away. When you had an opportunity to get a little education, you didn't want to pick up the book. When you had an opportunity to make certain decisions with your life, you didn't make those decisions. Now, it ain't all your fault, though. It is not all your fault. And I'm not here to condemn and judge people and be nasty. That doesn't benefit anybody, in my opinion. The reason it's not entirely your fault, black man, is because you live in a world where, from the time you're a child, you are inundated with media that trains you to think like a self-destructive monkey. You are inundated with media that literally has the sole objective of making you so weak, so disabled, so brain dead, so pathetic, such a bitch, that you literally end up in the bottom of a gutter, in a casket, or in a prison cell, because millions of black men across this country are committing suicide. But they're not committing it quickly, so you don't actually see it. It's very slow suicide. If you got the uncle that sits in the basement and drinks all day, he's killing himself. If you got the man that's running around having sex without a condom constantly with all these women, he's killing himself. He's destroying his future. He's making all these babies that he knows he'll never be able to take care of, because he's killing himself. He's giving up on himself, right? So if you look and you listen to media, and the thing is, here's where he's getting it from. He's getting it from some of the toxic music that our young black men are being inundated with. Now, you got a lot of great rappers out here, a lot of great rappers, and I'm friends with a lot of them. And even the rappers that are not always 100% positive, I'm friends with some of them too. You know, the rapper Young M.A. has repeatedly said in many interviews that I was the reason that she actually became famous, and because I put her on my Facebook page. So I help artists all the time. I mentor artists all the time, and I love them all, even the ones that are self-destructive. You also have guys that really get it. You have guys like Kendrick Lamar, a true lyricist, a truly intelligent black man. Guys like D1, who are literally working to shift the culture. D1 has a song called No Car Note, where his swag is, my swag is, what he says is that my swag is the fact that I drive a 98 Honda Accord, and I know that I'm still the man. I don't have a car note. I don't have any debt. I paid off my student loans because I'm proud that I went to college. I'm proud to be an intelligent, economically responsible black man. And those are the kinds of artists that we should support. So the question you must ask yourself as black people is, why are you quicker to support the artists who promote black male self-destruction than you are to support the artists who actually want black people to rise? Why would you not want to get behind a guy like a Kendrick Lamar and say, damn it, I'm so proud of you. Man, you talk about staying humble. You talk about being intelligent. You show unimaginable lyrical dexterity that really takes us back to the roots of what hip-hop was supposed to be. Hip-hop was supposed to be proud and strong and black and breathe life into black people. But instead, you got these niggas out here like Future, and I'm calling his name in particular because this guy, he's a special kind of nigga. He's an extraordinary nigga in the sense that this nigga will go out here and let white people pay him money to make songs that openly promote mass drug addiction amongst young black men. And so you end up with young guys like Black Youngster on his way to prison right now. He's going to prison. Point blank period. Broad daylight, you're shooting up another nigga's van. I'm sorry. Y'all getting the real black man. I apologize. I can't help it. But you out here in broad daylight shooting at some dude's van. Bullets flying everywhere. Little kids in the neighborhood. Anybody could have got killed. You can't tell me that there wasn't drugs and alcohol somewhere in the background while all this was going down. All these young guys now are popping pills because these pharmaceutical companies want you hooked on drugs. Like Malcolm X said, the white man will sell you the liquor bottle and then he'll put you in jail for being drunk. He'll sell you the liquor and then he'll lock you up because you're drunk. So basically, these pharmaceutical companies got all these young guys running around here popping pills, popping mollies, and it's being mass promoted in the music that you love the most, which is hip hop. They have taken what made you strong and they are using it to kill you. They have taken what was making you great and they're using it to destroy everything that you love. Hip hop started as something that was meant to give black people a meaningful and relevant voice in this world. Back in the, when hip hop first got started, you had these artists. You had KRS-One, who literally made songs like "You Must Learn," literally teaching black history in a song. You had X-Clan, which was proud and black, and they wore black medallions, and they talked about going to the roots of Africa, and they put it on a beat, and it made everybody proud to be black. Now you got songs like the one with this nigga Future. And I only use the word nigga when I'm talking about real niggas out here. He's a real nigga, and he probably agree with me. He probably got an album saying I'm a real nigga. So we're in alignment in this thinking. So you got guys like Future who literally has a song where the chorus is Molly, Percocet, Molly, Percocet, Molly, Percocet, Molly, Percocet. Now I want you to ask yourself, I want you to really stop for a minute and think about this. You're rapping these songs, little 9-year-old children, little black boys who really represent the future, little black boys who one day could become husbands, fathers, president of the United States, who could lead the community to greatness, are literally walking to school every day and saying Molly, Percocet, Molly, Percocet, Molly, Percocet, Molly, Percocet. Go study psychology to learn how deep that brainwashing is. Adolf Hitler did a wonderful job with very similar brainwashing to teach people to exterminate 6 million Jews. That kid, what do you think's going to happen when that kid gets about 14 and his friend says, hey man, everybody's hitting his Molly, you want to try it? He's going to try it. And then what's going to happen is that he's going to, his brain, his endorphins and his neural receptors are going to experience a high like unlike anything he's ever experienced. Just the same way when DMX said the first time he tried cocaine at 15 years old, he said that was it. He said I was done. He said at that point, I never could walk away from cocaine. So this young man who could have been anything, who could have been competitive, who could have went off and conquered the world, and who could have went off and did amazing things with his life, is going to be reduced to a drug addict. He's going to be reduced to a man who one day is going to go out and make a bunch of babies with women and not be able to take care of those kids, and his children are going to grow up hurt and destroyed psychologically and spiritually because they don't have a father that they can actually look up to. And I want you to think about your life for 1 second. I want you to think about how many men you know who fit that category. How many men you know who, because they were not prepared in a specific way, are completely incapable of even taking care of their own damn children. So if you don't see the connection between toxic music and toxic thinking, then you don't understand music and you don't understand the mind. You don't understand that these people, these other people, and most of them who run these record labels, they ain't black. Black people ain't really supporting this stuff. Black people, I believe, will support artists. Like there was an artist, I went to a listening session for an artist in New York when I was up there doing the Breakfast Club thing last week. There's an artist named Victory Boyd, and her daddy invited me for a listening session. And the girl's voice is like a freaking angel. I mean, we listened to the whole album. It was like being carried away to another planet. And I was just sitting there and I was asking my friend, and we were thinking openly, why don't black people push hard to support that kind of music? Why are we even letting people get away with training our children to be drug addict criminals at an early age? I'm sorry, and here's the thing. Whenever you talk about it, people get mad. Oh, you just hating, man. That nigga just hating. Because everybody wants to get into the party. Everybody wants to have fun. But the thing is, the party's fun until it ain't fun no more. The party's fun until little Pookie gets shot or a little girl gets hit by a stray bullet from some dude who's running around high on pills, firing his gun in every direction. See, so the thing is that prevention, like that old saying, they say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So rather than reacting to the tragedies as they occur, why don't we prevent the tragedies before they have a chance to happen? A lot of this comes from the kinds of music and media that is thrust upon you as black people. If I had children now, you know what? To tell you the truth, there would not be a TV in my house. In fact, there isn't a TV in my house. There is one. I mean, there's one there, but I don't turn it on. I don't even know how. I kid you not. My TV is for company. I don't even know how. I don't know how to turn my TV on. I literally, if you asked me to turn on my TV, I literally would say, well, wait a minute, let me look at the remote and see if I can figure it out, because I don't even know how to turn my TV on. When I go to hotels, I don't turn the TV on in the hotel. I get on the internet. I read things that are going to strengthen my soul. I know even myself as a 45-year-old man, I can't sit around and listen to Molly Percocet, Molly Percocet, Molly Percocet, Molly Percocet, and then not be curious. Like, I wonder what it's like to take a Molly. It sounds like it's pretty good. It sounds like it feels good. And so, you know, I just say to you, like, you have to really think about this. I saw Chuck Creekmer, who runs allhiphop.com, the greatest hip hop site in the world. I saw Chuck when I was in Seattle about 3 weeks ago. And it's so interesting. Chuck is a guy who knows every artist you can imagine. Every artist out here is trying to get on his platform, All Hip Hop. And I was asking Chuck about, you know, what it takes to be strong as a black man, what it took for him to be successful. And one of the things he said, I stayed away from drugs and alcohol. And it's so funny that you would hear this from a guy who runs a big segment of the hip hop music industry, but yet, you know, he sees all of this, you know, he sees all this culture, but he doesn't jump into it. And in a way, it reminds me of what Ice Cube even said in a song a long time ago, where he said, don't get high on your own supply, or whatever it is. Like, so what I have found is that the black men who are most successful are the ones who don't get involved in the bullshit, the ones who rise above the nonsense and actually make decisions that make sense in their own lives. And I was actually proud of Chuck for even critiquing that culture, because that's what we need. We need the smart, strong men in our community, and the women too, to start talking about this. Start talking about it. I mean, I don't care. So what, people call you a hater? You know what? I'm going to tell you like this. My mama and my daddy were the biggest haters on this earth. If you were doing some dumb shit, they became haters. They didn't go along with stupid stuff just because it was cool. They would come in and they would embarrass you in front of your friends because they knew what was best for you. And they knew that whatever you were doing with your friends might have seemed cool at the moment, but that's not going to be good for you in the long term. So we need more haters in the black community. We need more haters. We need more snitches, so that when a little baby gets hit by a stray bullet, everybody ain't sitting around not telling nobody what happened. We need more, all of that. We need people that really love black people, and not people who will allow the community to be openly destroyed by those who want to see your son in prison before he's born. They don't want black boys to exist. They don't want, the first thing they do is when your mama gets pregnant as a teenager, they're going to do everything they can to get her to abort you. Number one, this is not an anti-abortion statement or pro-choice. No, this is just the truth. They don't even want your mama to have you because she ain't got enough money. So when my 17-year-old mother got pregnant at the age of 16, she had me at 17. They told her, like, you probably should not have this baby because you can't take care of the baby. Number two, they destroy you in the educational system, because if you think they're sending your black boy to white ladies every day to get an education on how to be a black man, if you think that's going to work, then I feel sorry for you, because it's not going to work. Your son's going to be turned into the biggest white supremacist known to man. They destroy you in the media, because every image that you see of yourself as a black man is one that's not going to lead you to success. You're not going to become a successful black man when you're trying to be the next LeBron James, because there's only one LeBron, and there's about 1 million other guys who tried to be LeBron who never made a penny playing basketball. So you just kind of go down the list. Then when you finally enter into the economic system, what effectively happens to you as a black man is that you're left behind because you weren't educated. You were taught your whole life, you've been trained to be a thug nigga or a Molly Percocet nigga or somebody who's just into some dumb shit. And next thing you know, you can't compete. You see, what men got to understand is this. Look, the world is extremely competitive. Here's another thing you need to understand. I know you've been trained to believe that the white man is your daddy and he loves you. He does not love you. He wants you dead. He does not care when you get shot by the cops. He does not care when you get 90 years in prison. He does not care that you can't get food to eat. He does not care that you can't feed your kids. He does not care about you at all. And so, given that you're dealing with a group of people who care nothing for you, the only shot you have at survival is to stop worrying about what they think about you and start finding a way to compete so you can get what you need in order to take care of the people you love. LeBron James will never care if Steph Curry wins the championship. So Steph had to figure out how to beat LeBron. LeBron will never be happy that Steph Curry got the trophy. So white folks, white Americans who have white supremacy in their pocket, who have the power of white supremacy, are never ever going to applaud you because black Negroes are making progress. Like, oh, that's so wonderful. Black people are doing so well. They're never going to clap like that. They're never going to clap. So when you hear black people say, well, every time we get ahead, every time we do something, they just get mad. Yeah, they're going to always be mad. They will never be happy. They will never applaud for you to take something that they believe belongs to them. That ain't going to happen. That just like LeBron will never truly be happy. He might pretend to congratulate Steph Curry after Steph kicks his ass in the championship because it looks like Steph might walk away with it. I don't know. But he in his back of his mind, he's thinking, oh, I'm going to get that motherfucker next year. I'm going to get that motherfucking, I'm going to take his ass out next year. I hope he breaks his leg on the trip home. That's what LeBron is thinking. So what I'm saying to you, especially, and this is what you got to tell your sons, is that the world is real. And I know sometimes, and that's the thing. Sometimes, when I'm talking, some people are taken aback when I'm honest and candid about it. But somebody needs to be honest with these damn kids. So they're getting too much political correctness. They're getting too many lies in the media. You're getting too much bullshit about America or the world being a post-racial society and intersectional and that we can form these coalitions and that black people are going to benefit as well. And black people always end up losing. Black people always end up losing. And you're thinking, wait a minute, I'm in this game and we're supposed to all be sharing the points and everybody's supposed to be equal. But why is it that every time the game ends, when you look at the final score, it's always, everybody else has 200 points, black people have like 7. Well, it's because somebody lied to you when they told you what the rules of the game were. Nobody's ever honest with you. I mean, they're not gonna. CNN is not going to consistently put a Boyce Watkins on TV. They might put me on as a guest every now and then so I can say something controversial, but they're not really gonna want me talking to black people every day, and that's okay. I don't care if they do. I don't care. I'm talking to you right now. That's enough for me. But at the end of the day, we have to be honest. We have to look out for ourselves. And I'm going to tell you, this stuff going on with the hip-hop music industry is some of the most destructive, horrific, horrible, unbelievable shit that you will ever see in your life. The Jews would never allow role models in their community to go around telling their children to get addicted to drugs. But I bet you anything that there are public schools that would love to have Future come and talk to their children because all the kids would be so excited. They'd be more excited to listen to a rapper like Future than they would be to listen to a scientist or an entrepreneur or a doctor or a lawyer or somebody who's going to breathe life into their existence as opposed to a minister of death. He has him, and I'm not just talking about him. I know it sounds like I'm picking on him. I'm not just picking on him, but some of the artists, if you listen to the music, they are doing nothing but breathing death into your kids. So they're going to keep doing what they do. God bless them. I don't give a shit. I mean, whatever. Free expression, all that. It ain't free expression, first and foremost. A lot of people think it's like, oh, well, Dr. Boyce, because I had a debate with Michael Eric Dyson about this at Brown University. Go look it up. It was an interesting debate, and I love Michael, and I respect him. So it's not anti-Michael. But you would hear people say, see, that's the thing. We like to excuse things that are popular. We like to, whatever's popular, we find a reason that it must be okay. Oh, Lee Daniels and Empire, that's okay. That's just entertainment. Why are you hating on a black man making money? Because this man's making money by destroying black people. This man's making money in a way that is going to affect your sons and cause white juries to want to send your son to prison because their only image of a black man is that of a thug or whatever. So anyway, so here's the thing. With the debate with Michael, a lot of the hip-hop conversation came down to free expression. Free expression, free expression. That's what people will say. Artists deserve to have free expression. Absolutely. Entirely true. Completely true. But here's the problem. Here's your problem. Most black hip-hop artists do not have access to free creative expression. They do not have access to free creative expression. Free creative expression means that you do what Eminem does. Eminem is a rapper. Eminem's a very good lyricist as well. And Eminem's also white, so he gets white privilege. If you listen to Eminem's music very carefully, which I've done, Eminem will rap about whatever is in his spirit. He might rap about being happy one day. He might rap about being mad. He'll rap about wanting to kill his baby's mama. He'll rap about being on drugs. He'll rap about flowers. He'll rap about his daughter. He'll rap about going to the club. He raps about the entirety of the human experience. Black artists, on the other hand, don't have free expression. What many black artists have is they have a template. And so when they come in and they do like Kanye said, Kanye was like, I want to make a song about going to college and I want to make a song about Jesus. No, don't make that song, because niggas don't go to college. We need you to make a song about going to the club and shooting niggas and getting bitches pregnant. That's what we need you to write about, right? Well, you know, I want to make a song about Jesus. Or D1, for example, one of the artists that I love. D1, he said this publicly, so I'm gonna repeat what he said. He said that he went to certain people in the industry and said, I want to make a song about how good it felt to get my record deal and pay off my student loans. He literally was told by an industry insider, a bigwig, well, that song ain't gonna work because niggas don't go to college. So effectively, when you hear a black artist, you know, just constantly repeating horrible bullshit on a record, the same repetitive stuff. Molly Percocet, you know, shoot a nigga, go to the club, fuck a bitch, right? Just the same little template. That is not free speech. That is corporate speech. That is a corporation telling you that you need to pretty much turn yourself into a cartoon character. That you can't be intelligent. You can't be truly politically active. You can't be a loving father and be a human being. You are a caricature. That's what you are. A caricature is a cartoon character that is exaggerated, just like a minstrel show. Example, look at how many times you'll see artists, again, because they all desperate for these whites and Jewish record labels to give them an opportunity. They try to out thug each other, right? They like I remember the comedian Cat Williams when he said he was talking about how hard some of the artists pretend to be, like they pretend to be mega hard, and he's like, man, why are you banging over breakfast? Like you banging over, he said banging over bacon, like you just wake up ready to kill, like, and what happens is you lose your humanity because you're forced to pretend like you're something that you're not. That's where you get artists like the poor Lil Bow Wow. I still call him Lil Bow Wow. He ain't no grown man to be. I can't help it. But Lil Bow Wow, remember a few weeks ago when he was pretending to get on the private jet, pretending to be rolling up in the Mercedes when really he was flying coach? What's wrong with flying coach? There's nothing wrong with flying coach. Okay, you're a black man in the struggle. You're a hardworking, law-abiding black man who's down on his luck a little bit, but you're climbing back up the ladder. You're hustling to get back on top. Why can't that be part of your story too? Why must the story always be that I'm always hard, I'm always balling, I'm always flossed out, I always got bitches, I always am this, I'm always that? You don't have to always be those things, because that is a huge and unbelievable burden for you to carry on a daily basis. You are a human being. You're a human being. And so what happens in hip hop is that the black man and also the black woman are extraordinarily dehumanized by the very music that is sprinkled onto your community on a daily basis. You're dehumanized. When you don't get a chance to just say, you know what, you know, it really hurt me when my wife miscarried, and I love my wife so much, and blah blah. When you can't say normal things like that, then you're not allowed to be human anymore. You always have to be a thug. You always got to be this and be that. And what's happening is all these little boys who are growing up without daddies are looking to this thug nigga culture and thinking, oh, well, that must be what it means to be a man. So, oh, okay, Lil Wayne got 18 girls pregnant at one time or whatever the hell he did, and he's always high all the time. So maybe that's what I'm supposed to be. Maybe that's what makes me a man. So I'm going to get 800 tattoos on my body, and then I'm never going to really learn how to read and write. But maybe I'll either learn how to be a basketball player, which ain't going to work because 99% of all basketball players never make a penny playing basketball, or I'm going to become a rapper like so-and-so, and that's how I'm going to get ahead. So with that comes the baggage of the culture. That means everybody's hitting the liquor and the weed every day. I need to be hitting the perp. I need to be hitting the liquor and weed every day. If everybody's out here getting girls pregnant and not really thinking about who's going to pay the child support, then that's what I'm supposed to do. Because I'm a thug nigga. I got bad bitches. I got 2 or 3 bad bitches at the same damn time. So that's what I'm going to be. That's who I am. Right. And so ultimately what happens is you end up, first of all, making a damn fool out of yourself. You end up destroying yourself. A lot of these rappers, I'm going to tell you like this, it's already started happening, but it's going to get worse. A lot of your favorite rappers are going to die before the age of 40 because they've consumed so much drugs and alcohol over the years. When you saw Nate Dogg die at an early age of a stroke, well, remember back in the day when Nate Dogg used to say, hey, 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 smoke weed every day, right? Now, I'm not dissing weed or anything. Like, we know that marijuana can have positive health effects, but I really don't think you're able to be a competitive black man when you're high all the time. You're just not. A person who's high all the time is not typically able to, they're not alert, they're not as sharp as they need to be, they're easily taken advantage of. If you ever really want to take advantage of somebody, get them high or drunk, and then they'll sign anything, they'll do anything, you can film them doing something crazy, and then later on they'll end up, you get mad because you caught them in a vulnerable moment. There was a lawyer like that. There was this lady, a really smart lady, well-disciplined lady, who was a really good attorney out of New York, and she got super drunk because she was depressed about her boyfriend or something, and did something really embarrassing. The police tried to arrest her, and she was like, eat my blankety blank, and throwing her panties at the officer and all that. So that was a news story. So one of our bloggers on Your Black World wrote the story up and put it on the site. Next thing I know, she's emailing me or emailing us and saying, can you please take the story down? I was drunk and I was going through something, and so, blah, blah, blah. And we took it down for her, but I was just thinking, I feel bad for you because nobody ever warned you that when you're constantly high and drunk all the time, you're going to do dumb things. Do you know how many black men that are in prison doing 80-year sentences over things they did when they got high one time? Now, I'm not saying that you should. I'm not judging you. If you smoke, I don't care. If you drink, I don't care. If you get high, I mean, that's you. That's your choice. But I'm here to make sure that you know that a real conversation has to be had in terms of you knowing about the bad things that can happen when people are under the influence of drugs and alcohol. But nobody talks about that because everybody wants to talk about the party. Everybody wants to talk about how much fun it is. But nobody talks about that guy who right now, right this very second, is sitting in a cold, dark, dingy, nasty-ass prison cell with some guy who's raping him every night, waiting for the next 50 years to go by so that maybe he can get out of prison before he's dead. And he's reflecting on the fact that the reason he's doing the next 50 years in prison is because of one incident that occurred one night when he got high with his boys and went out and did something. There is no sympathy for you, black man, when you get in front of that judge and you did something while you were drunk or high that night. There's no sympathy. None. Most of the sexual assault cases I saw on college campuses usually involve lots of alcohol. Somebody got raped, and somebody might have did the raping because everybody was drunk and nobody remembers what happened. So I'm not telling you not to drink. That's your choice. But I think that we have to have these honest conversations. And the people that need to be talking to our kids are people that love our kids. That nobody can ever claim they love black people. And let's go back to rappers like Future. Not just Future. There's other guys out here like him, but I think he's an easier target because he's old enough to know better. I think he's smart enough to know what he's doing, how many millions of kids he's destroying by putting out this kind of a message. But you look at guys like that, and it's very, very sad because nobody really tells our kids the other side of any of this. And also, those who promote death amongst black children are enemies and adversaries of the black community. You do not like the black community. You are worse than the Ku Klux Klan. The reason you're worse than the Klan is because if we see a KKK member approaching us with a KKK robe, we know how to respond to that. We know, we get up in arms. We know that that's the enemy. But what about that black person who's been compensated by white supremacist organizations to come in and infiltrate and destroy the black community? You'll let that person right in because you think, because he looks like me, he must be my ally. When the truth is that a lot of these people are not your friends, they're not your allies. You could analyze, and I've analyzed a lot of the hip hop songs that I hear. You can analyze a lot of songs, and I used to talk about Lil Wayne a lot on this, and there's more to talk about if I wanted to talk about it. You analyze these songs and you look at the message that's being given to young black boys. You cannot find a single message in that song most of the time that will lead that boy to having a prosperous, empowered life. if he's high and drunk all the time, he's never going to have a good life. He's going to become an alcoholic and drug addict. His kids are going to think his kids are going to talk about him like he ain't shit. He's going to disappoint every woman who loves him, who tries to love him. He's never going to be a productive member of the community if he's high and drunk all the time. If he goes and pulls out a gun and shoots another black man in the head, which is, again, that's a regular thing. We talk about murdering black men all the time. Everybody want to talk about Black Lives Matter and the police need to stop killing black men. Well, everybody needs to stop killing black men, not just the police, goddammit. Stop talking about the police killing black men when we ain't talking about black men who are trained to kill black men. So what else? He's not going to have a prosperous life if he takes all his money and throws it all away. You know, if he's taking his money and he's not investing for his future, what kind of future is he going to have? He's going to have a future as a broke black man. If he's trained to be ignorant, if he glorifies ignorance and a lack of education, he's not going to have a prosperous life, because Malcolm X said it. It's on my page right now. He said that if you have no education, then you have no future, basically. Malcolm said, if you don't have an education, then America's going to treat you like you ain't shit. So why do we have such celebration of anti-intellectualism in the black community? Why do we celebrate the poison that kills us every day? It does not make any sense. It's absolutely insane. It's ridiculous. It's slave thinking. So anyway, going back to this thing with Kendrick Lamar, look, I think Kendrick buying his sister the Toyota Camry, I think that's an act that deserves extreme admiration. It shows me that he loves his little sister. He's a great role model for her. It shows me that he's practical in his thinking. If you buy a young woman a Camry, it's a nice enough car that she's comfortable, but it's not too nice that you're spoiling her. I don't believe in, I will never, ever be happy about seeing somebody buy their child a Bentley. I mean, when you buy your 17-year-old child a Bentley, here's what you're doing. You're pretty much ruining them for the next 20 years. Like that lady in Philly who bought her son the Camel and all that other crap for his prom, the Camel, and 30 tons of sand and 3 like luxury rental cars like a Lamborghini and something else. That was too much, because what you're doing is you're ruining your child's right to enjoy the little victories that he might achieve by getting that first car. You know, there's a good feeling you get as a man when you go out and you hustle and you buy that first nice vehicle that you could get, or that first nice apartment that you get. There's a journey he's supposed to go through as a man to allow him to grow into the person that he's trying to become. You have to go through that journey. And I thought my parents were the meanest people in the world, because they didn't give me anything. When I turned 18, my dad said, you got 6 months. 6 months. You got to go. 6 months. You're a man. It's time for you to go out here and take care of yourself. And I didn't know that wasn't normal. I just said, okay. And I figured it out. I remember when I was 19, and I called my mother and told her I didn't have any money for food when I was on campus. My mother said, well, you know, if you get a job, you'll have plenty of money. And I went out and I got a job. You know, and here was the thing. At first, I was very angry at them for that. And it's like, oh, that's abusive. That's mean. But then I went out and got a job, and I said, wait a minute. I can actually take care of myself. And so what you see now in our community in so many cases, and it's going to get worse if we're not careful, is you see a lot of man boys. You see a lot of bitches with penises. I'm talking about men who are so weak that they literally, they think that they're men because they're physically male, but they literally are quicker to whine about their situation than they are to do anything about it. They're not capable of competing or surviving in the world. Some of them are 35 years old, living in their mama's basement, in their drawers, smoking weed and playing Xbox every day because they've given up on themselves. And what kind of man is that to lead a household? Because I'm going to tell you like this, they ain't never going to stop making babies. They're going to always find a way to the vagina. There's a natural magnet that pulls the men toward the vagina. So that ain't never going to stop. But what happens after he goes in the vagina and a baby comes out 9 months later? Is he going to be able to be the superhero that child needs, that to protect the child, to provide for the child, to be there for the child, to solve problems for the child? Or is he going to be a black man who spends his whole life making nothing but excuses? And I'm going to tell you like this, that, you know, if you talk about just the origins of white supremacy, you talk about what slavery did to black people, much of what slavery and Jim Crow did to the black man is it made him weak and uncompetitive, and all that was deliberate. It was deliberately done because they don't want to compete with black men with big muscles, big penises, big brains, and big ambition. They do not want to deal with that. They want you to be weak, and they want you to be a child, and they want you to be feminized, and they want you to be non-competitive. They want want you to not exist. They want you to be a non-entity because they don't want to have to deal with you. They would rather see you exterminated. And what you've been trained to do through the music that you're consuming, everything else, is you've been trained to be a very willing and active participant in your own extermination, as well as the extermination of other people who look just like you. That's the honest to God truth, and that's what it is. So congratulations to Kendrick. I don't know if I'm ever going to meet Kendrick, but if I do, I will give him a hug because I respect this guy a lot. As a hip-hop fan myself, he brings back real hip-hop. You know, that's why he's on a level these other guys can never reach. They can try to compete with Kendrick, but they probably shouldn't try because it just won't work. It's like a first grader competing with a PhD student. It ain't going to happen. So they need to just stay in their lane. Kendrick is a real lyricist. He's an intelligent man. He loves his people. And I just have so much respect for him as an artist and also as a human being. I think that what he did by buying his sister this practical car, I think that what D1's doing by sort of talking about practical decision making as a human being is good for the world. It takes the pressure off black men to stop being cartoon characters and just start being human beings again. Vigilante, my friend who's a rapper out in Kansas City, I love what he does. He actually runs youth programs and stuff like that to train young men on how hip hop can be used to empower people. So there are a lot of artists. So while I might be critical, there might be artists that I'm going to go hard on, and I think it's honest. You have to do this, but there are so many artists that I think get it right and they understand what hip hop is. Hip hop was created by us. It's our music. It's our shit. And so when you got people out here that are literally paying these puppets to do the zippity doo-dah thing, and really embarrass the whole black community when you sitting in front of a crowd full of white people calling yourself a thug nigga, what the hell is that? What is this? What kind of weird reality is this? This is insane. This is absolute insanity. So I'm glad that there are guys like Kendrick who are going to guide us out of the insanity. So I think we should support him. I will buy a Kendrick Lamar album and not even listen to it. I would go buy D1, Immortal Technique, all those guys, and even if the album sucked, I would still buy it because I think that's what we have to do to support the artists that we love. And I think at the same time we have to challenge the artists that are a little bit misguided, because some of them are misguided and they don't even know that they're misguided. They don't even know how the damage of what they're doing. If you ask a lot of them, they'll say, well, I'm a product of my environment. I came from the hood. This is what I saw. And what a lot of artists still have yet to learn is that you're no longer a product of your environment. You're the powerful person everyone listens to. So while you might think that you are a product of your environment, actually it's the reverse. Your environment is a product of you. You manifest. You're powerful now, man. You're not a little kid in the hood who's victimized by everybody. You're shaping the environment around you. And I think guys like a David Banner, Royston mentioned Dave. I know there's a lot of artists I forget. David Banner, Killer Mike, guys like that. But I think that we should really show appreciation to them because they're really trying to guide the industry out of the darkness. And I do believe we're going to get out of the darkness. But I think what's going to be difficult though is that a lot of these artists, I know David Banner, and I know Killer Mike, and I know D1, all these guys, they're friends with a lot of these artists who are still confused about how to best represent their blackness. So the question is, how, almost like when you talk about good cops confronting the bad cops, when you worked on the beat with this guy every day and y'all been friends for 20 years and you got to confront this guy on his behavior, and it sounds easy, but it's tough to do. That's tough to take on somebody who's your friend. And so a lot of these artists who are doing the right thing by the community, the question is, when you are in a room and you're on stage with somebody or you're on tour with somebody who's pushing a message that is harmful to the black community, the $1 million question is, are you going to have the same courage to confront that person on their behavior that you would expect a cop to have with a fellow cop who's harming black people or who's killing people for no reason? Because it's the same concept. Just like you have good cops and bad cops, and you want the good to confront the bad. You have good artists and you got the bad artists. Are the good artists going to confront the bad artists? I think that's hard to do. And I'm going to tell you one guy who really nailed it, who did something that I never thought anybody would ever do. The rapper T.I. down in Atlanta. T.I. will always have my respect because T.I., y'all remember when Lil Wayne went on that coon fest? Lil Wayne's been cooning for about 10 years now, poor guy. He was on ABC News and he said something crazy. So it was the dumbest stuff I've ever heard. It was so stupid, my brain can't even retain what was stated because it was so ignorant. And T.I. wrote an open letter to him on Instagram for the public. And basically saying, look, we go way back and we're really cool, but but I can't let you harm the community in this way. I'm gonna have to challenge you, and it's gonna be open. Everybody's gonna see this. And I thought about that, and a lot of people thought, oh, that's right, yeah, you tell them. But I think that was probably really hard for him to do. It's very difficult if you are a powerful person in an industry to take on another powerful person in the industry, because that's when you get called a hater. That's when you start losing friends. That's when people say, oh man, you're breaking the code. No differently from, when good cops turn in bad cops and they're breaking the blue wall of silence. It takes extraordinarily courageous people to do that. So again, I go back to my basic point. In the community, we need more haters. Not in a bad way. I'm talking about haters that will just say, no, this is coonery, this is harmful. We can't do this. I'm gonna have to challenge you on this a little bit. We also need more snitches. Snitches are the people that speak up whenever a little kid gets hit by a stray bullet. No, you don't remain silent when a little child just got murdered just because you want to stick with some stupid code where you don't even know where the code came from. You don't even know what it means. You don't even understand it. But you're just doing it because you think it's trendy. You think it's something that everybody does. So that's it. Thank you, Kendrick, for being intelligent. Thank you all for hearing me out. I know I sound like I went on a morning rant, but I just had to get it out of me. One more thing, if you want a free copy of my ebook, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, you can go to drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. And you can also get a free you get a free sign up for our first wealth building sequence. So go to drboycewatkins.net. Also, I definitely have to give thanks to one of the companies that helps to sponsor this podcast, because if people don't help us pay any of these bills. So we partner with black companies. GreatProSpeakers.com. GreatProSpeakers.com is a great site. If some of you reach out to me about how to become a public speaker, how to give speeches, stuff like that, feel free to go to GreatProSpeakers.com. That's GreatProSpeakers.com. Somebody says, can you do a podcast? Well, I just did a podcast. A podcast doesn't have to be audio, doesn't have to be video. It's basically you talking and people hearing what you say. So right now, I just did a podcast. So this is my podcast. It's called Intellectual Chocolate. If you want to subscribe, go to intellectualchocolate.com. That's intellectualchocolate.com. And not only do you subscribe for the podcast, but you also get a lot of free wealth building lessons. I don't just get on here and rant about the problem. I also help you solve the problem, because we need solution-oriented conversations and not just black people bitching. We got enough bitching. We've been bitching for 400 years, and bitching will only get you so far. You bitch to bring awareness, but after you finish bitching about it, you go fix it. So this is to the black people who are building. I love you. Without you, there is no me. There is no conversation to be had, because nobody will be listening. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: no matter how much I yell and scream about it, more people are gonna listen to Future than are going to listen to me, and that's something that we have to accept. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean you stop fighting. It doesn't mean you stop loving your kids. It doesn't mean you stop standing up for your community and letting people know that we are supposed to protect our children from all enemies, both foreign and domestic. And I'm gonna tell you like this: you got a lot of snakes right there in your backyard. A lot of people going right into your kids' ear every day that want to see your children in a casket or in a jail cell. And I don't think that we, as good, law-abiding, loving parents, can allow that to happen to our children. And that's it. It's all out of love, point blank, period. Don't hate anybody, but you come after my kids, I'm gonna have to come after you. And that I think everybody in the whole community has to have this attitude, so artists understand there's a code of behavior you must follow if you come from our community. If you do not follow the code, then we will exterminate you, just like you're trying to exterminate our children. That's my opinion. That's my 2 cents. That's all I got to say. I'm out of here, guys. You have an awesome day, and I love you very much. And don't forget, if you want to subscribe and stay connected, go to intellectualchocolate.com. I'll talk